What do physiological symptoms have to do with brain-based disabilities? My name is Aubrey Page. I'm the CEO of the Change Starts Here Collaborative, and we support parents and professionals who support kids with brain-based disabilities. And today I want to talk about physical comorbidity with brain-based disabilities. As we are learning more and more about neurodiversity, as we're learning more about trauma, we're learning more about how impactful the brain is, how much the brain impacts it, which makes sense. It makes sense knowing what we know now. But 30 years ago, we wouldn't have known that to be true. Some of the numbers are very interesting. For example, I specialize in fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, which affects 5% of the population, making it 2.5 times more common than autism. And that has over 400 comorbid disabilities. And so there are other physiological things that exist alongside of the brain-based symptoms that we see, which makes sense when it comes to prenatal alcohol exposure. However, autism also has many of the same things as well, and autism is mostly genetic, and so what does that look like as well to tie those two things together? Some statistics that I found very interesting were that 26% of people studied in one study who were autistic also had epilepsy. 26%, holy cow! And then if you are autistic, you are 67% more likely to have irritable bowel syndrome. Wow. Wow. So these are things that, like, yes, the brain is different, but it is impacting the body also. And we're learning more about like the gut biome and all sorts of things too. But what we need to do is, if we have a child with a brain-based disability, and even when we're talking about trauma, how has that developmental trauma impacted how our brain has grown, how our body has grown, how we've responded to things? So we want to be very curious about physiological conditions that manifest alongside a brain-based disability. For example, but also not use that as the end-all be-all. For example, there is comorbidity of macrocephaly in autism and microcephaly in fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. And there are also facial features associated with fetal alcohol spectrum disorders. But the facial features affect like 10 to 15% of kids. And so that means 85 to 90% don't have facial features. So if we're only looking for the facial features, we're missing the vast majority of kids. And so if we're only looking for physical manifestations of a brain-based disability, then we're gonna miss a lot. But if we have recognized that there is a brain-based disability, how are we also being curious about what other physical things come alongside that? So that's just kind of my advice as we go into the school year. Kids are growing, they're changing, you're going and doing your physical at the doctor's office. If we have a kid that's complaining of headaches, I know like your natural thing that you want to think about is glasses, and I hope that you do, but sometimes our kids aren't great about saying that. So their interoception might be not working properly. So we need to be extra curious and extra cautious about checking out the whole physical everything, right? That's my tip for you this week. Thanks.